Next on Bravo, meet one of the world's most influential and adventurous pioneers of modern music and culture in the fascinating and colorful profile, Malcolm McLaren. Next on Bravo.
What do you do when someone's trying to kill you? You call your closest friend.
I'm in trouble.
Someone to comfort you.
I'm gonna die. You're not gonna die.
Someone to take care of you.
Just chew it, don't. They don't taste bad. Come on. Open the door. Let the train come in.
A friend who'll jump to your defense. The one person you can trust.
Make sure you put that on because it's staying by tonight.
Or can you?
What do you think, I'm fingering you?
That's him.
Peter Falk and John Cassavetes are Mikey and Nicky, two small-time racketeers with a special kind of friendship.
And I'd do anything for you. Anything. And unless you're sick or in trouble, you don't even know I'm alive.
Mikey and Nicky, written and directed by Elaine May. Monday on Bravo. One of the greatest actors of our time, Laurence Olivier. One of the greatest playwrights in history, William Shakespeare. A combination that has generated some of the most brilliant moments in the world of cinema. In June, Bravo celebrates the magnetism of Olivier and the genius of Shakespeare with a triumphant festival of award-winning films. From Olivier's Shakespearean film debut, As You Like It, to his Academy Award-winning portrayal of Shakespeare's Prince of Denmark, Hamlet. It's a treasured array of cinema classics that span nearly half a century. Your host for this gala event is a man who is himself no stranger to Shakespeare. He's celebrated theatrical producer Joseph Papp. Romantic, dynamic, engrossing, and above all, timeless. It's a regal collection of the world's greatest films when Bravo presents a festival of Olivier's Shakespeare. Look for them throughout June on Bravo, where you've got a lot to cheer about.
This is a military band, the Army Band in Washington. And this is a military band, the Army Fife and Drum Corps, also in Washington. And this is a military band, the Air Force Band of the Golden Gate in San Francisco. Even this is a military band, the Moods in Blue from the Air Force Academy in Colorado Springs. Military bands come in many shapes and sizes, with names like the Sea Chanters of the Navy, the Singing Sergeants of the Air Force, and the Herald Trumpets of the Army. Military bands play everything from Bach to rock. There are 101 of them, with 5,329 people, counting all the musicians and all the staff. It costs about $100 million a year to maintain them. But not everybody likes paying the price. One of the critics is Congressman Ted Weiss, a Democrat from New York.
The entire National Endowment for the Arts program is about $145 million. Of that, only about $13 to $15 million is for the music programs. Now, within that context, the bands are receiving over $100 million, and if the administration had its way, the bands would have received more money, the military bands, than the entire total for the Endowment for the Arts.
Colonel Eugene Allen, leader of the U.S. Army Band, replies that 90% of the cost of a band is the payroll.
We have fewer than half the numbers of bands now that we had a little more than 20 years ago. And this fewer than half is still trying to carry on the same traditions. On top of that, in many of our locations, particularly our divisions, what you have is a group of soldiers who happen to be very good musicians who carry on the requirements for music in the military. However, they also are issued a rifle, and if you extracted that band from that division, they more than likely would have to be replaced with a like number of people who would still be carrying rifles and who would still be an expense in behalf of our defense.
Captain Timothy Foley, Assistant Director of the Marine Corps Band, argues it isn't just a question of bands or butter. He says the Marine Band has an important role to play in preserving the historic traditions of American military music.
I challenge anyone to show me any other organization in this country that is doing that in the way the United States Marine Band is. And I don't know anybody that can put a price on that.
Leather Breeches or India Rubber Overalls was written by George Goodwin in 1858 and long since forgotten until the march was resurrected by the Marine Band. The Marine Band has a long history of its own. Founded in 1798, it's the oldest professional music organization in the country. John Adams signed the bill to create it, a corps of 32 rifles and drums. Since Thomas Jefferson's time in the White House, it has played for the president at every inauguration, and it's known now as the President's Own, 140 musicians. The best-known leader of the band was the famous composer John Philip Sousa, who is called the March King.
John Philip Sousa is, I guess you would call our godfather in a way. He became the director of the band in 1880 and was here until 1892. And it was Sousa who made the band a great modern-day band. He built up the instrumentation. Most bands prior to that time were very heavy on brass instruments, for instance, and Sousa really built up the instrumentation of the band. They are absolutely the finest musicians that we would ever want to have here. Man for man, they are absolutely on a level with the best musicians in the orchestras that I've heard, certainly here in Washington and elsewhere.
Man for man and woman for woman. Staff Sergeant Gail Dempster plays with a skill that has been polished by years of training and practice.
I graduated from the New England Conservatory of Music in Boston and played in Vermont Symphony and taught for the next couple of years. And when the band opening came down, I was auditioning for orchestras, and I thought I might as well take this for experience as well, never anticipating that I would be accepted. And it never occurred to me that it would be a problem for a woman to be in the band, and by that time it wasn't. There have been women in the band for 10 years now, and there are 22 of us.
Even the rehearsals draw sellout audiences. These budding musicians came to see how the professionals do it.
They love it. They're just coming to hear us, and they're generally coming with a positive attitude of, they want to come to enjoy a concert, and our programs are generally for the public's enjoyment. It's not always, that we have to be esoteric or anything. We program things for their enjoyment.
Some people like rock and everything, but it's a lot better because they know how to play music.
Well, I've seen how to get high. Not like that, but get the high notes.
I don't know, it makes me happy, and it makes me want to move, and it just makes me happy. I don't know.
Captain Foley believes military music is a vital part of the American national culture.
I think it's one of the most neglected arts that we have in our country is our music. Obviously the Smithsonian Institution, even when they put on an exhibit of their own art, they turn to us for us to more or less exhibit our art.
One of the 600 concerts on the Marine Band's schedule this year was at the Smithsonian's National Museum of American Art. Rousing patriotic numbers like this one, Sousa's Washington Post March, are favorites of the thousands of concerts that American military bands play each year in the United States and overseas.
It's very gratifying in a small town, whether it be Johnson, Kansas, or Tama, Iowa, or Green River, Utah, or wherever it may be. We always finish our concerts with Stars and Stripes Forever, and we always have a flag that we install somewhere, and it becomes a real point of our crew as to where we're going to put the flag tonight when we play gymnasiums or wherever we may play. And when we drop the flag, it's almost instantaneous that the whole audience jumps to its feet. And that's gratifying to know that all of America still feels that way, and we have the ability to instill this feeling of patriotism throughout the United States.
A ticket to Bountiful, please.
Where?
To Bountiful.
I can sell you a ticket to Harrison or to Cotton, but there's no Bountiful.
She has a serious heart condition that might be real serious for her to be left alone. I don't think she has any money, and I'd like to find her.
I am not going to spend the rest of my life running after your mother. I think we ought to just turn this whole thing over to the police.
Jessie May wants a life of her own. Thelma wants her life to begin. Ludi wants a future. And Carrie wants to recapture the past.
I said to my papa once after our third crop failure in a row, whoever named this place Bountiful, said as Papa did, because in those days it was a land of plenty. You just drop seeds in the ground and crops would spring up.
From Horton Foote, the Academy Award-winning author of Tender Mercies, comes an unforgettable story of decent people with special dreams.
Guess the Lord's just with me today. I wonder why the Lord's not with us every day. Sure would be nice if he was.
Carlin Glenn, John Hurd, Rebecca De Mornay, and Geraldine Page. The Trip to Bountiful.
"37 years ago, George Orwell confronted the world with a vision of its future. Now, that vision comes to the screen. Somewhere in the future, a force greater than all of us will control our every movement, our every word, even our every thought. Somewhere in the future, love will be a crime, subject to the ultimate punishment.
It's a beautiful thing, the destruction of words.
It's not so much staying alive. It's Staying human's important.
I want you. I want you to.
Remain exactly where you are.
There is no loyalty except loyalty to the party. There is no love except love of Big Brother.
Please, what do you want me to do?
The future is 1984. Richard Burton and John Hurt star in George Orwell's cautionary tale of a world yet to come. 1984. Monday on Bravo.
Looking for something new and unique on television can sure be a gamble. If you've been searching the dial for quality movies with a difference, then here's a tip. The Critics' Choice for the very best in film is Bravo. Every night, Bravo brings you exclusive showings of superlative premieres you won't find on any other channel. And these are more than just any movies. They're the hands-down winners of cinema's most distinctive awards. The definitive choice of critics and audiences worldwide. The odds-on favorite for outstanding entertainment. From acclaimed directors to star-studded blockbusters, you can bet on Bravo for a winning ticket to the best in film. So if you're looking for a channel with the highest quality movies, go with a winner. Bravo, you've got a lot to cheer about.
Coming up next on Bravo, the world's premier dancer, Mikhail Baryshnikov, in a story that has been fascinating performers and audiences alike. Carmen, next on Bravo.
You're a high-powered politician riding in the ultimate driving machine. A state-of-the-art computerized limousine. Soundproof, bulletproof, terrorist-proof. But there's one hitch. In the unlikely event that it breaks down, nothing can get you out. Not an anxious political rival, nor a bumbling bunch of policemen, not even an army of mechanics. It's the makings of a mischievous caper when director Lena Wertmuller presents an hilarious spoof on the faults and foibles of politics and technology. A Joke of Destiny. Wednesday on Bravo.
Notre bien, notre vient, s'en va, puis il revient. Tu crois le tenir vite, tu crois l'éviter, il te tient. Jamais connu de loi. Si tu ne m'aimes pas, je t'aime. Si je t'aime, prends garde à toi. Si tu ne m'aimes pas, si tu ne m'aimes pas, je t'aime. Mais si je t'aime, si je t'aime,
Coming up next on Bravo, a policeman is doomed when he falls for a dangerous woman in Jean-Luc Godard's turbulent tale of love and betrayal, first name Carmen. Next on Bravo.
Nancy Callahan is a New York yuppie who has everything. A job she hates, a husband who cheats, and a confirmed place in the rat race of life.
People give up their dreams for security. That's the trouble. In the end, they don't even have security. What they have is a boring routine.
Until she decides to chuck it all for the romance of Paris and finds things aren't always what they seem.
Where am I?
Ben Gurion Airport, near Tel Aviv. Madame?
Yeah, but what happened to Paris?
Paris is in France. This is Israel, the Holy Land.
That's when the adventure begins.
I don't have a cent. I don't have any clothes. I don't know anybody, and I don't know how I'll get the money to get out of here.
And it turns into a madcap clash of cultures.
It's nothing personal, but this isn't what I left America for. I mean, I'm not even Jewish, for Christ's sakes.
Julie Haggerty is delightful as a take-charge woman whose world turns upside down when she says, "Goodbye, New York." Premiering Sunday, June 8th, 8 Eastern on Bravo.
Sicily, 1860. A land on the edge of upheaval. Injustice is rampant. The middle class wants freedom. Revolution is in the air. In the face of disaster, one man must make a choice. Should he accept political change or confront it with the ferocity of the Leopard? Bravo is proud to present a big event in the world of cinema. The complete uncut version of Luchino Visconti's award-winning epic, The Leopard. Burt Lancaster, Claudia Cardinale, and Alain Delon star in a story of sentiment, sacrifice, and the passing of an era. The Leopard, Tuesday on Bravo. And now, take a break for Bravo's Trials and Tribulations. For the 1976 film Mikey and Nicky, former TV detectives Johnny Staccato and Joe Colombo teamed up with a director once married to Mike Nichols. Name these three personalities. They're John Cassavetes, Peter Falk, and Elaine May. See their work in the offbeat gangster film Mikey and Nicky this month on Bravo. And tune in for more Trials and Tribulations on the channel that gives you more to cheer about. Bravo.
The
The School of American Ballet is unique among American dance training institutions because it is a vocational school. Its purpose is to graduate professional ballet dancers. In fact, 80% of the New York City ballet roster is drawn from this school.
I came to this school mainly if they'd let me, because I consider it probably one of the best schools you could ever come to. I started when I was a baby. I had a deformed foot, and the doctor prescribed taking ballet as opposed to wearing metal braces. My mother could see me in tights, but not metal braces.
I was a tomboy, let me tell you. I mean, I never did think about, ballet at all until it started. It was that first day I did it. Something hit me. I go, wow, I really like it. And I was into school and, the popular crowd and all that. And then one summer, I just got, like, bitten by a bug. I mean, it's true. All of a sudden, I got all into it. And after that, I don't know, it's just like something bit me.
I love music, and it just all sort of came together. I don't know. It was just such a wonderful feeling when you do it right and you're with the music and it's all coordinated. It just feels so good.
Making this body into an instrument, and that takes a lot of determination and intelligence, enormous intelligence, if you want to be very good at it.
That was it. Finish. Finish your
You understand? Now, slide. Just a bit steady. Slide. 1, 2, 3. Steady again. 1. Slide. Don't open your legs like that. And slide. 1, side, 2, all together. Preparation. Straight your back hold. And in that. 1, 2, turn, stay, back, side, turn, and back.
Well, I just wanted to be a ballerina. My daddy wanted me to be a ballerina. I want to be either a veterinarian or a ballerina.
It's hip?
Yes, a little. She just took off your ballet slipper and see how well you could point. And she would see how high you could lift up your legs, so she would keep on lifting it and lifting it, lifting it until you said, stop. Yeah, I know.
Lega шефу и бегут.
When you first start taking adagio, it's a horrible experience. I can remember the first adagio classes I took. The girl was falling all over the place, and it was all my fault, and I had no control over the situation. It's a question of timing, and it's a question of strength.
It's surprising because sometimes during class you won't really think she really sees what you're doing, but she'll come up to you and look straight at your feet and say you're not standing right. Or else she'll come over and she'll wink. She'll make you smile. I really enjoy it. Everyone does. Because she's such a good dancer herself. I mean, she gets into it.
Well, I'm from El Paso, Texas.
Birmingham, Alabama. San Bernardino, California. Middletown, New York.
I am from France, exactly from Marseille.
Rockville, Maryland. Fort Lauderdale, Florida. I'm from Longview, Texas.
Sioux Falls, South Dakota.
Washington, D.C. Lexington, Massachusetts. I'm from Memphis, Tennessee. From Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. I'm from Columbia, South Carolina. Amherst, Massachusetts.
New York City's a trip for me. Coming from Nashville.
After class, we all rush to the bulletin board to see if we're picked for Coppelia, and there's a yellow sheet saying who's in Coppelia.
City Ballet. Tomorrow at 2 at the New York State Theater, the sparkling three-act Coppelia, using all of Deleuve's lovely score. As for New York's weather, it is...
Is what we find at the School of American Ballet.
imagine a world without Bravo?
How dare you, sir?
Are you completely amoral?
What if you couldn't enjoy Bravo's high